Now, the melancholic, the last one. I've let the best for last here, right? The melancholic is the exact opposite of the sanguine. So, where the sanguine is outgoing, optimistic, and enthusiastic, the melancholic is cautious, rather pessimistic, they would say realistic, and serious. Where the sanguine reacts quickly, the melancholic reacts slowly, but vehemently. And once the reaction is registered, it becomes very intense. The sanguine is impulsive, and the melancholic is a perfectionist. The sanguine believes in quantity, not necessarily quality, of friends, and the melancholic is very choosy, and one good friend would be enough. But they are friends for life, very persevering. So in terms of the reactions, as I mentioned, the different reactions, so the melancholic's reactions are delayed, so they don't appear on the surface, they're delayed, but then they become more and more vehement as time goes on. So they kind of seeps into their soul. And then it also is very long-lasting. So they can be very, very persevering. They're great. It's like once they get started, they're hard to get started on a project, but once they get started, they persevere to the end. Whereas the sanguine will start lots and lots of projects and then drop them. So, yeah. So you can identify melancholic children, if you have, those of you who have kids, by their intense sensitivity and their deep reactions. Okay, this really hit home one time. And sometimes parents worry about, if they have a child who has these intense reactions. But this is all normal. And when our kids were in high school, our youngest was in Beauty and the Beast, and this was a musical, and they were putting on a performance just for little kids. Like this was the matinee performance, and it was just for little kids. So my husband arrived late, and he gets into the lobby, and there's like 20 little kids in the lobby. I mean, there's like hundreds in the auditorium. There's like 20 in the lobby who are all crying, inconsolable. They're just clinging to their parents' legs. And it's like, what happened? Well, the Beast had just made his appearance. And the other kids are in there like, yeah, the Beast, and, ooh, or whatever. They're loving it because they know. Well, anyway, I mean, it wasn't really a scary beast. This is a kid show. But the very, very sensitive ones, they took it very, very seriously. They were terrified of the Beast. So their parents in the situation might have said, like, oh, they're embarrassed, like, why is my kid out here? Why can't he be normal like with the rest of But no, it's like what you want to do is you want to affirm that that is their temperament. That is God's gift to them. That is how he made them. And we had to learn that when our first child was a melancholic. So, it's like, I used to talk for her all the time, like, then I realized, wait, she may not learn how to talk if I don't let her speak sometimes, But no, I mean, but they were very, very quiet, very cautious. Anyway, okay, so where the sanguine talks, the melancholic listens. So lots of melancholics, in fact, are priests and religious. There are they're great listeners. There's a lot of therapists are melancholics as well. A lot of teachers are melancholics. So they're much better at listening than the sanguine. Where the sanguine may be emotionally volatile, he will soon forget. But the melancholic may not show you her reactions, but she will not forget. So we used to say, you got to be a good parent if you have melancholic children, because they're not going to forget that time that they got wrongfully punished when it was really their brother who did the thing. Ooh, they remember that. So it is said that the melancholic so longs for heaven that everything on earth falls short. They're idealistic and perfectionistic. As a result, they can be somewhat cautious, as I said, about initiating new things. They might say no at first, but then if you have a friend or a co-worker and you're working with a melancholic, you have to give them time. You don't just lay something on them. Let's do this right now. I have this great idea. They're like, no, I don't. Let me think about it. So they don't like that. But if you say, hey, I think I have an idea, let's talk about it, I'll let you think about it for a while, maybe we can talk about it again next week or something like that, so give them more time to think and to process the information. So, where the sanguine is sort of careless and confident and jumps right in, the melancholic can focus a lot on the details and really trying to get everything perfect, foreseeing all the obstacles, thinking about all the what ifs. And sometimes people think, well, the melancholic is being critical or a naysayer. They're not really, they're just really seeing all the details that other people are not seeing. So they rarely make an impulsive decision. Okay, going shopping, I go shopping with my melancholic daughter, but it can be torturous because we have to examine every item of clothing, do comparison shopping, then we have to check the sales, make sure there's not another sale. She looks online, while she checks her phone, make sure there's not a better price, and then take things back 10 times, check all the stores before. And we're like, and I'm just like, I just want to buy stuff, I'm an impulse shopper, hey, And but really, I take her with me because she really helps me. Like, I can't tell you how many things I've had to, give away because I'm like, ooh, did I buy that? Ooh, embarrassing, but if I bring her along, she's much more careful and she has a good eye. They're very artistic. That's another thing. Melancholics are very artistic. And as I said, they're slow to respond. So my husband, who's the melancholic and phlegmatic, we're exactly opposite. But anyway, it works out okay. When our melancholic was an undergrad at Catholic University, she actually got a job working at the fitness center. And this was great. It's like one of those really easy jobs where, she just sat there kind of at the entryway and people showed their ID, and she would say, okay, yeah, looks like there's a treadmill free. Looks like, the elliptical's free. That's all she had to do. She could read, study, and all that kind of stuff. So she'd had the job for about 6 months, let's say, and she gives us a call, and she goes, Mom, I'm really thinking about something. I go, what are you thinking about? She goes, I'm really thinking about working out. So she'd been there 6 months. The treadmill right there, elliptical right there, and she's thinking about working out. And we were like, oh, don't rush into that. Oh, gosh. So virtues that can be tough for a melancholic could be the expression of gratitude, because sometimes they think it's all in their heads, they're introverted, they're thinking things, but they're not saying things, So, and they also don't think they ought to have to say things like, oh, thank you for, doing such a good job on that, whatever you just did. They think, well, people should just do things because they ought to do things. They don't think that you should have to thank people for it. You know what I mean? But the expression of gratitude is really important. And so this is a really helpful tip for melancholics. If you're a melancholic, learn to just practice that. Practice gratitude. And in fact, researchers have actually found that if you practice gratitude, you become more happy. So, of course, the church has always known this, but now psychologists know it too. Yeah. So, gratitude is excellent. Fortitude and charity are wonderful virtues to practice if you are a melancholic. Now, fear of venturing out can actually stop the melancholic sometimes. And that's something where you just have to press forward, be not afraid, and go out and do something for somebody else. Practice charity, that doing something, but not just by yourself. The melancholic is probably happy to go do a holy hour, by themselves, whatever. But, encourage, if you have a melancholic friend or you're a melancholic, do something that's social. Go out, go to the soup kitchen, serve some soup, help out at the, the baby drive or whatever that you have at your parish, that kind of thing. Do something with a group activity. But the gift of the melancholic is their love for truth, beauty, and justice. They take the noble and true road. They are truly faithful friends. They care about getting things done right. Who are you going to call when you want to have somebody take notes for you in class? Are you going to call the sanguine? It's like, oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, was there somebody oh, I was staring out the window. Sorry about that. No, you'll call your melancholic friend who will have taken careful notes. So when the melancholic has conquered some of the fears that they might have, and they step outside of themselves, and they're willing to express the gratitude they feel in their hearts, then they become powerful leaders for Christ. And an example of a melancholic saint would be, I think, Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. I would put her forward as a potential melancholic saint.